The city of Savannah has always been known for its African American culture, especially in the 5th District, where I live. Over 50 years ago, my mother and father developed a home in the 5th District, in Liberty City to be exact. And since that time, we have lost our voice and struggled to find the really great leadership that makes us really proud. Our culture, our heritage, and our land have been questioned. But if you join me, Robert Bryant, next year in 2023, we can get to work and believe in change that we can all be proud of. So join me, let's believe in a change, and together we will make the District 5 stronger. Thank you. All right. I don't know what happened there, but we're back another Saturday on the Watch Dawgs on our Black Media Network. And Julius, we got you back in the seat.
Hey, I'm back.
You've been out having a good time, huh?
No, I just happen to have things scheduled
No, I
at the
got you.
time that we were showing these shows. Most times on the weekend, I be done work so hard, I have other things planned, and
Right.
that's what the deal was.
That's right. I got you there. I got you. So yeah, what do we have on our list today? You sent out a few things, and uh, definitely want you to kind of guide us into these topics.
Well, it wasn't but three things that we're going to talk about. Some late issues came on after we did the rabble. We saw some things pop up, and one of them were um, Morgan State University approaching 10,000 students on their on their enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 at Morgan State, and we don't have 2,000 at Savannah State. I don't even know if they got 1,500. And see, and that's part of what I've been saying for the last couple of years. They're letting the school fail just like they do every Black institution or every Black thing in this city. They let it fail on purpose so that they can take it over. Because once it failed and we're not paying attention, all we say is, oh man, they couldn't last. But we don't see what's behind the closed doors and what's making these institutions and these properties, these businesses, all these things fail. It's a plan. And we just got to wake up and look at it. They against the woke uh, people being woke, but we got to wake up real quick.
Yeah, one of the things, and it's no secret, I work in higher education. One of the things that Morgan State has, I don't know how well Savannah State does this because I haven't been there, but they have they have graduate programs, certificates. So if you want to, for example, go get a credential and continuing education, you can do that. So it's programs like that beyond the undergraduate programs that really grow those institutions. And so, that's how you build your enrollment. I mean, you got undergrads, you got people that are coming to get their bachelor's degrees, but can you build your graduate programs out to build enrollment? So that's the thing, right? But again, I agree with you 100%. It's does the Board of Regents want them to do that? And that becomes a question, So yeah, that's the danger behind it. Does the Board of Regents want to grow the institution? To what extent, and what resources are they going to give them to grow?
I mean, let's look at the clippings from it. It is Morgan State's David Wilson, another record freshman class as total enrollment nears 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do we get our people at Savannah State to go and find out what Morgan State is doing? Let's talk to David Wilson. Where's the leadership at Savannah State so that we can try to do the same thing? It's obviously something special that he's doing, and other community or somebody's doing, and let's read a little further and let's see what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Yeah. Say last fall, Maryland's largest HBCU, Morgan State University, recorded their all-time high in total enrollment at 9,100 students. This fall, President David Wilson is expecting to reach 10,000 students due to another record influx of incoming freshmen. That's a lot of people saying that they want to go to this school, freshmen. The increased interest in Morgan comes at an opportune time as the campus undergoes a physical transformation supported by nearly $1 billion in capital investment and newly acquired real estate. As many schools nationally are doing, Morgan State University is working on leasing options for student housing in Baltimore and Townsend due to record-breaking enrollment. And that's what you want to have. You want to have a problem with housing instead of not having a problem at all. And it's just the leaders got to have a vision and they got to have balls. Not saying that it's got to be a man, but but the leaders got to have some guts,
right?
Some get up and go. They got to have some vision also. Savannah State got plenty of property around it that they could have tried to acquire. They did acquire the housing apartments that was right next to it some years back. But there's other properties and that they probably can get. They built the science education building, didn't they?
It was something along those lines. It had to do with science or technology. It was something very. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, but what do they do? What can they do to increase the enrollment there? I mean, it's got to be something, Robert.
Well, and the one thing, there's several good things about Savannah State, but they have a really good marine biology program. That's what they're really known for. And if that's your bread and butter, you hype that program up at all levels. And again, you build out these certificate programs. So for example, for people who don't necessarily want a degree, they can go get a certificate in marine biology or something related. That's what you end up doing. You end up bringing in numbers, but you end up bringing in revenue. So I think with the revenue, you can do more marketing, you can build out other programs. But again, I'll just use Georgia Southern one because I'm alum, but that's kind of the issue that the Board of Regents has with Savannah State is that Georgia Southern tends to get most of the attention. But you look at the programs they have, and you look at the programs they get approved for. Case in example, you remember the education program used to be at Savannah State. That was a booming program. They did a very good job at that. But however, eventually it left and was taken over to Georgia Southern. So, it's stuff like that that really hurts the institution. And students gravitate to campuses that have interesting opportunities, so interesting majors. So I don't know. That's going to be an ongoing conversation. I can tell you that.
Yeah. But I think it's leadership, though, Robert. Have they picked the president yet at Savannah State?
No, from the last I looked, they had an interim. Got her name. However, but I don't think a permanent one has been selected. My I don't want to use the word concern. My whole hesitation with that whole process is making sure that the alumni are plugged in and engaged. And we all know that the Board of Regents and the Chancellor is responsible for that process, but to what extent are they going to engage the students and the alumni? That remains a question mark.
Mm-hmm. Well, they need everybody engaged. Something ain't working at Savannah State. Something ain't working. So if it's not working, then what's the problem? You got to correct the problem. You got to find out, well, if this ain't working, let's try something new. Let's ask somebody else. You just can't keep bringing people in there to let the school just fail. If you don't have proactive people that's going to go out in the community, stop talking to the boulets. Stop talking to those bougie ass people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they aren't giving no money. Obviously, they aren't doing anything for the school. So why is Ballot Washington dealing with them? Why was she dealing with them? She need to be talking to people who have an interest in that university. They could have hired the football coach who was local, who could have brought the program up, who could have had more people coming there, who could have inspired more local athletes to go there. They aren't thinking. They want the school to fail. They want the school to fail. And that's the problem.
When you were saying that, I thought about Morehouse College, and it's a private institution for our viewers. It's a private institution, all-male institution in Atlanta. One of the things they did a very good job of, especially when we were going into the pandemic, they created an online degree program. So, for example, if you are a current student or you are a male who, stopped college for whatever reason and want to go back, you'd have that online option. That helped their enrollment a lot. Savannah State's biggest Achilles heel is the Board of Regents. And I'm not throwing shade or anything at the Board of Regents, but sometimes they've got to let the leadership do what the leadership does. I don't know if you remember when Carlton Brown was there, but Carlton did a very good job. Cheryl did a very good job, honestly. However, you can only do as much as the Board of Regents will allow you to do. And then they will kind of put that gate in front of you and so forth and so on. But a lot of times what I have noticed is it's that board, or it sometimes has been the chancellor that has placed limitations on that school. And, you can only do so much as the boss people will let you do.
Well, somebody said that they thought that it was too many old people that they hired trying to run the place. Ballot Washington ain't that old. And then somebody else said that it was too many foreign people and white tigers, they call them, that were trying to run the school and make sure the school failed. They brought these people in for that particular reason. And they say the institution is getting away from what it has always been known for. They get rid of the programs that's needed in the community and they ship them to other universities. And then they let that school, nobody has an interest to go there. What are you going there to major in? Marine biology? How many goddamn marine biologists you think we gonna have? They're not coming from all over the world to go to Savannah State for that. So the planning is everything. If they don't know how to change direction, then they need to change leadership.
Yeah, but guess who picks the leadership though?
Yeah, our Board of Regents, and our that same group up there in Atlanta, or Athens, or wherever they're at, they get to do and choose. But it's got to be pressure from this side. When we don't apply the pressure to them, then they do what they want. Mm-hmm. That's in anything. If you don't tell a person what you want, they're going to give you what they think you need. Or they're going to give you what they think they want. Mm-hmm. Not what you want or what you need. You know, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it's tough, but I definitely agree with you in the fact that we've got to do something at a local level. And the alumni, you know, I'm not picking on alumni, but, you know, that endowment, the support, you know, with dollars, that's got to pick up as well, because that impacts the overall visibility and image of the institution. If that endowment is not competitive and enrollment is a problem and retention is a problem, that word consolidation pops up real quickly with the boards.
Yeah.
And we don't want to see that.
Well, we need an enrollment event for Savannah State, and those kids that aren't going off on athletic scholarships or real big academic scholarships, then we need to try to try to turn them over to Savannah State. It needs to be something where those students that are on the line also can get those type of grants or something. They got to be able to get, Robert, that can get them turned around to Savannah State, and that's what needs to happen. We need it to be a better recruitment effort on the leaders at Savannah State. You're bringing in these foreign people who don't know nobody, who don't know anything. Then when they get here, they get with the bougie ones, and then they leave out the people that can make a difference and will make a difference. They leave them out, and that becomes a problem. We just got to, I hate to see it, but we're telling you way ahead of time what is happening and what we see down the line is going to happen, because it's just it's not working right. It's just going in the wrong direction. Savannah State should be a school where everybody locally, we got 200,000 people here, and you trying to tell me that we can't get with and most of the students at Savannah State aren't even from Savannah. That's the problem. If you go there and you find out where those students are from, most of them are from Atlanta. Ask any student that you just happen to see, they all coming from Atlanta to Savannah State. Why? They got 30 colleges in Atlanta. They're coming from Atlanta to Savannah State. Why can't Savannah people go to Savannah State? Why can't the people in Statesboro and Richmond Hill and Chatham County, right down in Jacksonville, all these people around this area, why can't they all go to Savannah State also? You know, so that's something that the administration needs to look into, and that we'll be continuing to talk about until somebody hears us or until something is done. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and then come right back and go from there. All right?
Alabama. All right. You got it. All right.
Okay. Well, that one's still up.
Oh yeah. Let me.
But we took it down. Our next subject is the Alabama lawmakers. You got the Alabama lawmakers, uh, and the Alabama legislature. Uh, they are refusing to do what the Supreme Court demanded they do. And they have had clear instructions from the Supreme Court to redraw the lines. Clear instructions. Clear. Okay, couldn't make it no more clear. They redrew the lines and cut out a black district altogether. Now the Supreme Court is telling them that's gerrymandering and they can't do it. They're telling the Supreme Court, so the Supreme Court sent it back to them and told them, say, redraw these lines the way they were, or redraw them so that it can be back the way, so they can have black representation. The way they drew it was that they made sure that that black majority district was split up so that you couldn't get enough to elect a black person.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Supreme Court has told them that they couldn't do that and it was wrong and to correct it. They have told the Supreme Court that, they just turn their backs and say they're not going to do it. So what repercussions do they have? What are the consequences for them saying we're not going to do something that the highest court in the land has instructed them to do? If they can turn a blind eye to this, if they can turn their backs to the Supreme Court, what else can they do? I mean, are they going to succeed from the union? I mean, are they going to just drop off the map? Are they going to take care of themselves, the federal government? I mean, when something like this is done, it is usually when your state gets cut off from all federal funds, and they couldn't survive without federal funds. No state can.
Yeah, that's true. And the Supreme Court is not going to push it too hard, given that it's a conservative court, and Alabama is as conservative as they can be. What I want to see are the folks in those districts, the black folk in Alabama, stand up and make some noise. What's happening, we're seeing in Florida and all throughout the South, are people that don't look like us that get to dictate what we do and how we do it and what we talk about when we talk about it and who we talk about. We can't even talk about our own history, for God's sake, in Florida anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw the latest headline, but AP psychology was banned. Like, what kind of ignorant mess is that? You got banned books now throughout the South. Like, we are taking slow steps back to becoming a segregated, slave-driven country, and it's happening slowly but surely. It started with the whole abortion law. That had nothing really to do with abortion. It had everything to do with how folks can control other folks. And we're in a very dangerous place right now, because even with Trump looming for the presidency and has like 100 indictments, we are in a scary place. So what's happening? You have folks that live in supremacy and believe in supremacy, leading these conversations, and the main ones telling the Supreme Court, we ain't got to do what you want us to do, because we are, we're higher than the court.
That's correct. That's correct. They've been emboldened to act up, and when you're emboldened to act up by who you think is your leader, even when that person doesn't really have any power, what's going on in Washington and across the South, the East right now with Donald Trump is, it has to happen so that they can show people that no man is above the law and no man is a king in this country. We have no kings. And because a king can do anything, a king can get away with anything, but a president cannot. And Donald Trump, for some reason, thinks that he is a king. And some of the people in this country think that Donald Trump is also a king. But what is going on with him with his legal matters has to happen so that this country can understand that there are a set of laws that everybody must obey. And if you don't obey them, then there are consequences to your refusal. And so, even after the judge admonished him before he walked out of the courtroom on Thursday, he still went out and made a post on Thursday or Friday that was in direct conflict of what she had said. And now, what they should do is lock him up in a cell, leave his detail as his security, but lock him up. Leave his detail, his Secret Service detail, as his security, as the prison guards, but lock him up. Donald Trump ain't gonna learn until you lock him up. It's not gonna be no war. Who are you gonna fight? Who the Republican, the crazy Republican gonna go fight? You don't know who his enemy is. Is it the guy next door? You don't know whether the guy next door is a Democrat or a Republican. You don't know whether that black guy is a Democrat or a Republican and on his side. So who is going to go fight? He go to Washington? They ain't taking that no more. Everybody trying to go in that Capitol will be gunned down. Go in there again if you think you can get in the Capitol. It's going to be another January 6th. That'll never happen again. Not in our lifetime. That'll never happen again. And they know that. They done arrest over 1,000 people, got 2,000 more to arrest. 1,000 people have been arrested. They got up to 2,000 more people that the FBI just ain't had time to get. They coming to get them too. That's a report that came out the other day, that they will be looking for those people also. So what I'm saying is that what we have to do is make people on all levels obey the law and obey the rules. If the Supreme Court has ruled, there is no other form of recourse that you have to turn over their ruling. That's the last peg in the ladder. That means that you don't have nowhere else to go. The Supreme Court told you to do something different. You're saying no. So what's the recourse? What is the repercussions for Alabama? And it should be coming down real swift and real hard, real fast. And because they have to understand that this country operates on it's called the United States of America. The United States of America. And if you're not united with the rest of the states, then you get cut off. If you think that you can survive, no, you can't. Then the people get mad and rise up against you then, because you can't survive no more, because you've been cut off, choked out. Now the people understand those funds ain't coming in no more. Everything federally is not being funded no more that you had, those stipends you was getting. So the people rise up because their conditions and living conditions have changed, and they vote you out. And that's what needs to happen. Especially with Black people, we don't recognize things until it happens to us. We don't see this ahead of time and say, hey, let's take care of this. No, we rather the foot land on our neck, and then we want to get everybody else together. And that's a problem in our community. It really is, in the African American community, that we're not proactive, we're reactive. And then sometimes we're not even reactive. You got to damn near be dead for your act. And that's the problem in our community. But Trump has emboldened a lot of these people. He has emboldened all the backwards ass state reps and governors, because Hot Wheels and in Texas and DeSantis in Florida, they're acting up like hell. Even in Kentucky and Mississippi, they're acting up. So we got to, and one of them got a Democrat. Kentucky got a Democratic?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
You know what's interesting about Alabama is where are the black churches? Where is the conversation from civil rights organizations? You know, it's time and place now, I think, for our civic organizations and our traditional civic rights organizations to get involved with these conversations and to start raising them up, because I mean, throughout the South, you are seeing a number of just crazy policies. Right here in Georgia, I just saw Governor Kemp was going after this idea with federal legislation and how federal laws can be applied and all that kind of crazy stuff. It's like everything they do to try to address Trump's issues, they want to go dismantle that system. And so Kemp gets behind that kind of craziness too. But where are our civil rights organizations in this conversation? Because we are really losing ground in these spaces. And like you said, is it going to be at the moment when voting rights are being attacked that we really take this thing seriously?
And I'm glad you brought that up, Robert. I'm glad you did, because really, you said a mouthful with where is the church? The church is failing to act on all levels. They are failing to act. It seems like the church is just these days something to get money out of. I'm serious, because even if you can't win, you still fight. Even if you can't win,
that's right,
you still fight. And I don't understand where the fight is in the church these days. There is no fight. They aren't doing anything but preaching in the pulpit every Sunday. Their advocacy is only as far as their front door.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing anything. And I'm talking about all these preachers who aren't on the front lines out here, like Pastor Small.
Right.
You got to be on the front lines. You got to care. God gave you an order. He commissioned you. You said you are called. So do what you are called for. All these prolific preachers, I know everybody out there love their preacher. Oh, my preacher the best. Oh, my pastor the best. My pastor. Is your pastor out there fighting on the front lines? If your pastor isn't out there fighting on the front lines, then what is your pastor doing? And that's what the problem is. Not only the pastors, you got the people on the front lines out in the community leaders. All the community leaders, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? All these people, where's the NAACP? You know, you just can't hold positions and not do the work. You have an obligation. You have a charge to keep.
Mm-mm.
And you're not doing anything. That's the problem that I have with these politicians these days, and these pastors and these community leaders. We have community leaders that are following the wrong politicians. Some of them are pastors. You could take one out there in West Savannah. I'll call her name, Marsha Buford.
Mm-hmm.
You follow Van down a rabbit hole, knowing it ain't no way back up. You know? And there's no sense in that. You know, you don't sell out a community. You know, you don't sell out a community. But the churches don't even have soup kitchens no more. Right. No clothing pantries. No, because the food got to go to the pastor, Ivan, and the clothes got to go to the pastors also. So you ain't gonna have those things no more. The church has lost its way, and that's a great conversation we need to have, and we need to invite about 8 pastors on here so they could talk about what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
You're not scared, pastor. Give me a call so you can tell me what you're doing, because you need to be on the front lines doing something. I know y'all don't like me calling out these pastors, and a lot of y'all don't like me calling out your pastor because you think your pastor's just so awesome. Your pastor ain't dealing with it because they ain't doing nothing. If I don't see you on the front lines advocating for the people, you ain't doing nothing. God didn't tell you to just stay in no church. Told you to build it. And the church just ain't a building. It's a community.
Well, it's interesting how pastors, they live in the Bible. But Jesus was among people. Jesus was among the less than, the challenged. But we see a lot of these pastors, and I'm not generalizing, but you see a good number of them amongst the money. You see, that's the problem too we got in our community. The love of money will make us do some real foolish stuff. The love of money will make us turn our own back. But see, at the end of the day, when we lose everything we got, like conversations in the classroom, when we lose everything we got, like land, like property, like if districts perhaps, then we start taking things seriously because, oh my God, they're taking things away from us. They're taking things away from us. I had this conversation last night. Slavery ain't changed. It's at a different place. Ray, what's going on?
All right, greetings to everyone. So they are here doing the protests, and the protests we talk about really about living wages here. You got some of the scholars who come from Savannah State University, former Savannah State alum and Georgia Southern alum. They're working in conjunction with the folks who are working at Fox and Fig, Henny Penny, and also Foxy Loxy. And so we tell folks what this is about. They think it's about living wage right here, the $8.28. We tell folks this is about a living wage that has been needed. And our older women have been screaming that in this system of plantocracy called tourism. And so you got folks who've come from South Carolina, some organizers here who are joining with the workers here. But as I tell folks, the larger deal is we need them to rally around with Black folks with regard to this. When we talk about this system of plantocracy, that again, with regards to the monies that are being made here, and now people getting peanuts. So now it's visiting some of them. So we're down here on Bull Street. They're going to be making their way, walking on to Fox and Fig right now. They've already done the other part of Bull Street. So we're right here right now. So they paused for a second. So yeah. So we're here on the Watch Dawgs with the Watch Dawgs.
Okay. And what are they protesting? Give out the audience idea of what the root of the protest is.
One is with regards to wages, and then also they want to unionize. So it's been an issue with regards to unionizing, and then also with regards to being treated fairly. And I tell folks all that what we always advocate on all the shows, but not say all the shows, but what our Black media does is focusing on our humanity, about respecting us, and then also making changes. And so that's why I say, although when Keisha Gibson Carter has talked about this, about tourism being a system of plantocracy. So people are not getting the wages that they're deserving. They don't have living wages here. Have we not all been talking about that? Dr. Robert Bryant's been talking about this. Julius Hall been talking about this on the shows from the Rabble to Run Tell That, the Watch Dawgs. We've always been talking about living wages. So I'm telling people that's what the deal is. Now, what I did share with them, I had said to one of them that y'all need to be putting this out here. Because again, and then join with us in what we're talking about. That it just ain't about this right now, but it's about being further. That again, you all have said, remember in November, but then it's November each year. We need to be remembering about this right here. So again, living wages, $7.25 is not enough. And guess who knows that? Who's known that for the longest? Black folks in this community. But you guess what? You come here and people making millions off of this city with regards to tourism and this county. So we tell folks this all the time, that it is heaven for some people and hell for others. And guess who got most of the hell? The ones who make it possible and made it possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so we right here, it's fit. Y'all, but some of y'all know where we're at right now. Ain't this the Ogleville Club? Ain't this one of the seats where they go and make these decisions that we can't come. We can work inside here, but we can't come and visit inside here. The private club dominion right here, the Ogleville Club. See, and what I told them, I said, when we are through here, you see some of the historical figures. We saw Jesse DeLoach, former school board representative. They walked past, they didn't know it, so I called out to Jesse. That's why it becomes important for us when we have these movements to have us who still got the memory involved. Because you walk past places not even understand. That's why they didn't even understand the importance of when they came right here, what this is represented to us. The system of oppression. They've oppressed us and kept us down in these menial positions also. So it ain't no accident. So we right here.
Okay, awesome. Bring them in so they can join the group because it's all about unity, and that's one of the things we're
Right.
talking about now. If we don't unite to fight the issues that we face, then they think that it's okay with us, because there's not enough people fighting for these issues. And what we need is to show everybody that everybody's coming together to fight. We can't go help fight for those people down there now because they see what we've been facing all the time. But now we come and we showing them that we are part of their fight. They need to make sure that they come be a part of our fight.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. You are correct.
Yeah, because most people don't feel it till the foot is on their neck.
Right. That's right. That's right.
How they say it in the old days, the shoe is on the other foot.
That's right. That's right. And it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's so interesting, that you all mentioned that is, we see that locally. These issues don't bother me unless it's at my front door, and I'll use this millage rate.
Yeah.
This millage rate is going to impact people's property tax. People like myself, you, Teray, and Julius. It may not impact you and I directly as much, but we've got to think about that our next door neighbor who might be on a fixed income or a relative that may be a single parent, and that's going to price them out of their homes. I was on a text message yesterday with a business owner that owns property, and I said, do you have anything in this particular price range? And the response was, oh no, ever since that millage rate decision, everything has gone up. And so I say all that to say, we've got to stop just worrying about what's in front of us and what's in our home, because what's in somebody else's home or what's in somebody else's issue cabinet will become your issue one day. And stop being so self-centered and realize that this community, unless we come together, we're going to fall apart just as quickly. What did Dr. King said, we're either going to work together or we're going to perish together as fools.
Yeah,
and I don't think we get it. I don't think we get it. Excuse me. Oh, y'all walking the whole downtown.
Oh yeah, walking to Troop Square right now. So walk from 36 and down. So yeah, I see some of them can't handle it. Some other folks. So I like, and you in this movement right here, you handle it. You handle it. You suck it up, because you know your ancestors went through more than this. So, yep. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Well, see, that's great. They all are out there. How long were you at the first place?
They were there. They got started at 12 o'clock.
Okay, so they protesting at two locations?
All three locations. They first hit Foxy Loxy, right there on 36 and Bull. Then they went down to Penny, that's at 31st and Bull. And so now walking on over to Troop Square to Fox and Fig.
Gotcha.
So now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I kind of like Fox and Fig for the vegan stuff over there.
And they're good. And I love it. I love it.
My God. So we can't go there no more. And so see what happened when you become a part of this right here. It made you make steps and moves that you didn't want to do.
Well, you better find another vegan spot.
Oh, only far few between. Come on, man.
Just keep eating.
We support Hungry Vegan. We support Hungry Vegan.
Okay,
so let y'all know that Hungry Vegan. That's right. We do support that. That's part of Kwanzaa Crawl also. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know. So now I say I can't go to Fox and Fig and go get the dessert item. Don't tell Coach Carter I go to get dessert items from there. Don't tell Coach Carter, please.
I think he watches it.
No, we won't tell Coach Carter.
Although Keisha Gibson Carter gonna be the one open up her mouth. But it's vegan. It's vegan. Yeah. But I won't do that no more. And that's tied to Clay Hodges, who came on our show, and talked about some of this. Yeah. So, yeah. So we're making our way down Bull Street.
But if we could go back to that conversation about living wages, I think that would be appropriate. If you go down to that port, y'all, and you realize how much money comes through that port, it makes no sense that this city has a poverty issue. It absolutely makes no sense that we have a homeless issue. We bring in over $3 billion a year in that port. I'm lost as to what's going on. And yet you will have, going back to the pastors and other community leaders and all that, who support people that don't advocate on behalf of the city, but will advocate on behalf of Greg Parker. I have a problem with that. I have a major problem with that, because what community will always get left out and left behind? The Black community. And we just sit there, and this is what we've got to do, Julius. Talking about boycott. We've got to learn how to boycott these churches. Because these pastors aren't speaking the language you need to speak, and I'm serious about that. I find it hard to align myself with someone who does not understand the conversation about upliftment of our communities. And if you don't understand that millage rates and developers and all of these other things impact our community in a disproportionate way, then I can't be in your church. I can't be with your candidate. I can't be, no, that makes no sense, because at the end of the day, like I told somebody yesterday, West Broad Street in Savannah was the Black Wall Street. And we don't even have, maybe 5-6 businesses now? And we, come on, there's something fundamentally wrong with that.
I haven't said it. What I haven't said?
I didn't want to cover your face. Let me move you up.
I haven't said he won't do that no more. Quick, somebody get it in right. We just got to get things situated where we're all on the same page. People are more organized than we are. These Black churches, we need to call them out. Nobody don't like nobody talking about their church. They think that's where they're going to be saved. That the church cannot save you. The church cannot save you. Stop thinking that stupid mess. The church cannot save you. You just go in there to get the education. The church cannot save you. You have to save yourself. It is what your life that will save you. Ain't nothing the church can do for you but give you the education and the spiritual comfort and help that you might need. You can get that yourself if you want. You just got to know how to get it. Anyway, that's a subject for a whole nother day again. We got these subjects that we can run over and run through. It all comes back to unity. I see Keyshawn Housey is there. Keyshawn is everywhere where there's a fight. Man. And I admire Keyshawn for that. He is everywhere where there is a fight for something positive, for something that's good for the people. Keyshawn Housey is always there, and I admire him for that. And we need more young people like him that is out there fighting. We need more people, period. What's the biggest excuse for people going out today? Oh, I saw it was 70% chance of rain today. Oh, it's too hot out there. It's 110 degrees. Well, after a while, you ain't gonna have nowhere to be out of the rain or be out of the heat. Well,
I'll tell you one thing.
You gotta fight now.
If we keep on this track, we'll be back in the cotton field. See how you like that heat.
Yeah.
I mean, hey. But what was your third topic?
We got 10 minutes left.
Now, see, now you want to go off on time. See how folks do?
No, but I mean, ain't nobody but me and you. And we're finished. When you're not finished with the subject, there's no need in quitting.
I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good thing that I think a number of people, and this is a nationwide topic, and that when we are looking at selecting candidates, my particular rule of thumb is pick people that's going to represent your values or things that you align with, but also look at who given to them and why they're given to them. So for example, let's just hypothetically say the Coca-Cola company wanted to give me $3,000. Well, that's really abnormal, Because why would the Coca-Cola company give me that for a local election? People would then beg the question, what is it what's the deliverable on that? And so if you look at some of these local, in Savannah, some of these local campaign contributions, question marks get raised because it's like, well, I didn't know y'all were friends. I didn't know y'all were cool, because anybody can give you money. Your friend might live in Dallas or whatever, or might own a company. You never know. But when you start seeing benefits like $2,000 a ticket and certain gas stations going up all around the city, the question mark goes up.
Yeah, they won't favor. And we understand that this is how it's done in this country, all over across the whole map. But they're paying for access, and there's nothing wrong with them having access. What your vote and decision should be is whether it's good for the people. If it's good for the people, then that is good. If it's good for the people, it is good. There's no problem with that. I see they're protesting there, and they got there in front of the place. Yeah, okay. See, that's what see, these people out there doing what they have to do because they want to make a difference. They want to make a change. You can't get change. People don't know you want it until you show them that you need it. So that's what that group out there is doing. Look at them. They're united. But the thing that they have to understand is that they have to be able to harness all that energy at the voting polls, at the voting booths. They got to be able to say, I'm registered here where I can make a difference, and my elected official will listen to me. My elected official will walk this path with me. And that's what it's about. You got to have people who are fighting the fight with you. You got something else, Jamal?
Saying Savannah, Georgia consists of 725 is not enough. So, we've long known that. We've long known 725 is not enough. But many other people, that's what they're getting. And they're raising families on that. So y'all can hear the chant. And y'all say Keyshawn's here, Michelle Ignatius here. And we got some of Savannah State scholars here also. Because again, they understand about being leaders of today, not tomorrow. So I'm gonna mute myself so in case y'all want to say anything.
Well, here's an interesting question. Because I agree, the living wage is off the chart crazy everywhere in the United States. But when you have a income of $10 an hour, $12 an hour in certain cities like this one, it's challenging to try to make ends meet and find a nice place to live. And so when you help me understand this, Julius, when you have 90% of the people that say, don't impact my property tax, don't let my rent increase, but 90% of the residents are saying that, and you have city leaders that vote to do it anyway, I don't understand that logic. So make sense of that for us.
Well, the thing is, they don't listen to the people. You were sent there by the people, but once you get there, you don't believe that you were sent there by the people. You believe that you got there on your own. Nobody voted for you to get there. You got there on your own. That's the way that Van Johnson thinks. That's the way that Dietrich Leckett thinks. That's the way that Linda Wilder Bryant thinks. Until it's election time, that's the way that they think. Estella Shabazz has turned her back on the community, and she's for whatever is fashionable. When she was in the minority, it was whatever she was fighting for was what was for the people. Now it's whatever is fashionable for whoever is the establishment is. Let's just say that. Whoever the establishment is. We have to get there's nothing wrong with being friends with these people. Seriously. They have to make friends with the people who are building the city up. They have to. There's nothing wrong with them. But when you're and most of the things that they're doing compared to If they would just do some of the good things for the other underserved and underserved people in this community, the underserved communities, then nobody would have a problem with what they're doing with everything else. I don't understand what the problem is. Do what you have to do for the least, and you can still take care of those with a lot. And it don't make sense, but this is the revelation that the people need so they can see we will remember in November, because they're showing you we still ain't gonna give you nothing and we still gonna take care of these people. I ain't nothing wrong with you taking care of those people, but take care of these people also. Spread the wealth, spread the infrastructure build up, spread everything, the community development, everything that's happening in every neighborhood need to be also done in all the other neighborhoods, but they're not doing it, and they don't care, and they're being led by a clown that tells them that it's going to be all right. But in November, people can show them that they need to remember. And Robert, you did two things. You forgot the second commercial, and you forgot
that was your Teray talking.
And we got to get on point where we'll be doing our commercials on 15, 30, and 40 and 45, no matter what it is, whether somebody talking or not. We're gonna start they'll know when that commercial come up, and they can finish when the commercial goes off. But we got to get into a pattern of doing it on that way. We ain't got but 3 or 4 minutes left, but we have some tough subjects. We got a lot of stuff going on in this country that needs to be addressed. And if we don't talk about this, we can't just have you in your house not knowing. We can't just have you sitting back on the couch and not doing anything. If you're not going to be with us physically, then you need to be with us spiritually and financially. It's all kinds of ways of being involved and engaged. See those kids out there in this hot summer day? They're together for a reason. They're trying to change the course of what their lives will be. They're trying to change the direction these people are sending them in with not wanting to give them adequate funding, pay, and different benefits. So they're all together. They're united. If they shut down and don't work, then how are the businesses going to operate? They're part of the service community, the service industry. If they don't do it, then the people got to hire somebody else, and those other people ain't gonna do it either. So anyway, I've talked enough. We'll cover these subjects again in the next coming weeks, and Robert and I will have more political candidates on who will be doing their thing. Okay, Jamal, we appreciate you bringing that to us from out there. Any last words, Robert?
Oh no, I think I want to go back to this idea of community, and we've got to step back into community, and that's from individuals to churches to civil rights organizations, because the John Lewises of the world, the W.W. Laws of the world, the Harriet Tubmans of the world, those are the folks who laid the foundation. But we're allowing other people who don't look like us to destroy the foundation. So are we ready yet or not?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk with y'all. Don't forget, Pastor Smalls at 6 and America After Dark at 10 tonight. Pastor Smalls at 6, America After Dark at 10 tonight. Don't y'all forget, tune in and watch.